Hello, and welcome to Scarlet Serpent Readings. Thank you so much for joining me for today's timeless pick a card reading, where we are, well, it's actually a special pick a card reading because it's a collaboration with Emily from Intuitive Guidance with Emily. And so our relationship, or our collaboration, is on relationships. So Emily is going to be focusing on the hidden aspects of your relationship, and I'm going to be focusing on the higher purpose of your relationship. And yeah, there's a thunderstorm. It's like a tropical storm going on, so that's fun. Interesting with the topic, the subject matter that we're doing. So I also want to give out a shout out to Noonie from Leo in the third house, because at least my portion of the reading was influenced by a reading I had seen on his channel. So I'll probably have a link to at least his channel or maybe his video, but that's going to be underneath the timestamps. And that's not a collaboration with him though. The collaboration is with Emily. And yeah, we're going to look at those two different aspects. So again, she's going to be doing the hidden aspects of the relationship, and I'll be doing the higher purpose of the relationship. And it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It can be, it really depends on your intention before selecting your pile. So I would keep that in mind if you want to kind of go back and maybe rewatch with the intention of connecting with another person. Okay, so I have 3 different piles here for you. Pile 1. Pile 2. And pile 3. If you need some more time, you can go ahead and pause the video now. Otherwise, I'll see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose Libra, this is going to be your reading. What is the higher purpose of your relationship? And it's interesting because this is meant to kind of represent what the higher purpose is of the relationship on an astrological level. So it's fairly, it could be, you could be dealing with a Libra or you could be a Libra, but this does have to do a lot with balance, fairness, and that's reflected in the tarot cards that I have as well. I mean, you only have 4 for now. I'm going to clarify these and then just ask again. Like, we're going to try and get multiple layers of tarot, but I have the 8 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, no, the Hierophant, whoops, and straight away we're getting kind of the duality here with the 8 of Pentacles. There's 2 beings, and the Hierophant has the 2 pillars here. There's a strong sense of building with Virgo, Taurus. It feels like a relationship that's taken a while to build, and I think part of this connection has to do with equal, not just equal give and take, but both parties collaborating, like their fair share of energy and resources into each other. And it's almost like the Hierophant kind of feels like the Justice card in this way. It's almost as if this Hierophant is the representation of the totality of the efforts with both parties, and when it's balanced we get both pillars, but when it's not, it's like the structure is compromised. We have the Sun here, so this could be overall a bright, if this is a romantic partnership, or even if it's not, it's something that brings a lot of joy to both parties when things are balanced. Again, this is an interesting Sun card because we have 2 different beings together, holding hands, celebrating. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which shows restraint. It's Capricorn, the Sun in Capricorn. So we have the Sun card showing up twice. Interesting with Libra. So it's kind of there's a lot of pentacles here. There's a lot of earth energy here, and it just feels like this is something that has taught both of you about building and putting in work towards each other as individuals and as a team. Let's clarify these cards. It's interesting too, because if you look at the Libra card, I don't even know. It kind of looks like these are pentacles. I think they're lily pads, but they kind of look like pentacles. I don't know if you could see that there. Oh, let's try again. Those kind of look like pentacles. Okay, so let's clarify this row. What is the higher purpose of this relationship? We have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, I mean, not only giving to yourself as much as this partner, as you give to this partner as well. We have the King of Cups. It's also kind of like knowing when enough is enough as well. We have the Six of Swords, clarifying the Sun. Like, it hasn't always been a walk in the park, and that might be something that people see, but they don't necessarily understand the amount of effort and the amount of change that was required to get to that point. Let's just get one, please, for this Four of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles. So lots of earth energy. I'll show you these cards first. Nine of Wands clarifying the Eight of Pentacles. And then the King of Cups clarifying the Hierophant. Six of Swords clarifying the Sun. And the Knight of Pentacles clarifying the Four of Pentacles. It's like a balanced approach to a relationship where you're not getting too carried away emotionally. I think that might have been something that's happened in the past for you or your partner or you or, you know, a family member, acquaintance, whoever it is that you're here inquiring about. But I think at times you've had to separate yourself and go back and forth between working on you and working on the relationship and putting resources towards the whole, like a family, and dividing those resources up for yourself. So kind of knowing when to kind of squeeze the valve so that money isn't constantly flowing towards vacations and plans and budgeting, and not just that, but like investments as well. But overall it feels balanced, and that's been something that is reflected again in all of the cards, really. Even the Six, we have the Six of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, all even numbers, Four of Pentacles, and most of the imagery is reflective. Like there's two sides to everything. Even the Nine of Wands has two sides to it. And that's a little different, Nine of Wands, but we're gonna get some more cards just to yeah, I want to know, what's the higher purpose of this relationship, please? Oops. Okay. Okay, so these first four cards, I have the Four of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, and then the Five of Cups. So it's kind of interesting how it changes a little bit here. I think part of this King of Cups energy is knowing what it means when there's boredom. Oh, these are hard to look at. It just goes to show the emotional intelligence, like a balancing of the energies of, all of the elements within you, and recognizing when one of those is out of balance. So it's kind of like I got like a bunch of spinning wheels, and each wheel has its own balance, and you're trying to intuitively juggle all of those, if that makes sense. So like, are the finances in balance? Are you satisfied? Is your partner satisfied? Is the mental energy, fluid? Is the communication clear? And this is, it sounds overwhelming, but part of this mastery comes with being aware of all of those elements naturally, so that when there's friction, you notice it straight away. And I think that's something that in this relationship particularly, you and your partner are more attuned to those subtle shifts and subtle imbalances. We have the Seven of Pentacles, so lots of building, lots of I think this is Taurus again, but we had Virgo as well. This kind of looks like stars that are being brought down. Yeah, one of them is holding on. There's this, it's a hint of like hoarding energy, because we have a few of the figures kind of holding on to the pentacle. So maybe you or your partner clings to money a little tightly, and I think that might be a balance to the other person who likes to kind of splurge a little bit more. So it's kind of recognizing that balance in the other person as well. Like if it seems extreme, I would consider looking at the extreme within you. And then we have the Seven of Swords, so two sevens next to each other. Seven of Swords is usually a card about deceit. This one seems different. It kind of seems as though this person knows when, yeah, the ability to detect those lies. And I think that's what the Six of Swords is too. I think one of you, either you or your partner, or again, whoever this is, has kind of dealt with that before. And going in, it's like, I just picture one of you having the sword ready. It's like, I'm not afraid to cut you off completely if there's any kind of if I feel like I can't trust you, I just won't deal with it. And I think maybe both of you wielded a different weapon at one point, in terms of kind of like, for example, I just got with the eight, or there's a lot of pentacles, like Four of Pentacles is like, if you overspend and you drain my account, I'm gonna just cut the whole thing off. And then likewise, it's kind of like, if you can't be honest and upfront about anything, if you're sneaking things around, I'm just gonna cut it off. And it's kind of like this mutual respect for one another, that they're just not going to tolerate the other person's potential nonsense. And I think that is what paved the way for that Libra energy, for that balance. And it took work. It took work for for both parties. But this relationship feels mature. Okay, let's just clarify this second row. Death. Okay, so that kind of ties into what I was saying, right? Not being afraid to cut things, end things, because I feel as though, especially with it clarifying the Four of Cups, and I think it might have been you who, with the King of Cups here, kind of understanding the difference between dissatisfaction temporarily and a more long-lasting dissatisfaction. So it's not like, oh, I'm just bored, I'm gonna end the relationship. It's more of, is this like a perpetual kind of ongoing boredom that I have, that I'm seeking other things. And I think meditating and taking time for yourself was helpful in helping decide if that was something, which I think might not have been. Although I keep saying it, there's like this threat of cutting off, with Libra, with all the swords. Yeah. The Ace of Pentacles. The Page of Swords. And the Four of Pentacles again. So that's a pretty... we have Judgment at the bottom of the deck. So I think in a lot of ways, this relationship was part of your life purpose. It helped you grow and mature as an individual. Regardless if you're still with this person or not, I think you've learned a lot about yourself through your relationship with them. Especially with the Four of Pentacles showing up twice, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Swords. It's recognizing a growth and maturity of mindset and energy in the way you kind of navigate through the world. It's kind of like this person helps you reflect on your own growth. And it's an interesting Four of Pentacles. It's kind of showing off what they have. And I'll show you the Page of Swords too, getting ready for battle. It kind of just reminds me of the threat of the swords in the background. Again, it feels quite different. It almost feels as though one person went into this relationship, or might still be in the relationship, where it's a little defensive. There's this fear of something going to happen, even though it hasn't. Yeah, and it's like, I'm ready, I'm ready, just in case, something goes down in terms of like just a lack of balance, because we have the Four of Pentacles, even the Four of Cups, and it's like one or more of you would rather be slightly bored, but knowing what to expect in the relationship, as opposed to, fun and adventure, but there's like, you're not really sure if you could fully trust. Trust is extremely important, I think, in any relationship, but in this one especially. Okay. I drew an extra oracle card, and this one says Melt into Divine Desire with 54. Goddess Pele and Lava Stone. I want to draw a couple tarot just to see what that's about, but... Well, trusting, right? Oh, that kind of just slid out there. We have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, it's interesting. There wasn't, I don't think, there was one Wands card, which was the Nine of Wands earlier, but there hasn't been too many. So it's tapping into fire energy, because there's a lot of intellect, there's a lot of emotions, and there's a lot of security that you're looking to find with this other person or create with this other person. But the passion is something that I've noticed isn't always there, and I think that might be something that comes out of the relationship at one point or another. Kind of reminds me of the Chariot, where there's a movement to this Knight of, well, obviously Knight of Wands, the movement, but it feels like a chariot. Like there's three horses. It's a team effort to move forward, and that has to do with this partner. I like all the eyes in this deck. I love eyes. I used to draw eyes all the time. Let's get another card. I might read from the guidebook. Because once you could trust yourself and your person equally and as much, like there's full faith, then you could kind of let go of holding on to the pentacles. There's a lot of building here, though. We have the Eight of Pentacles again, coming up twice in two different decks, you know. But I think this shows a shift in what you're building, as opposed to like something secure, stable, grounded, honest and fair. This could be building towards passion. This could be building towards potentially sexual energy, or at least creative energy, creating something, creating a new experience with this person. Again, like this could be a family member, you know, connecting in a way that has to do with like a similar hobby. And I think that will really, because we did get the Four of Cups and we got the Five of Cups, where there's a sort of emotional loss that's been caused by the desire for security and stability and safety. Like, again, it's kind of hard to see the imagery here, but there's a figure with his head down like this, the cups knocked over, there's kind of like swords in the background, the cracks. I mean, this doesn't feel particularly intense in terms of like if there's been fights or anything like that. Nothing huge fights, maybe just kind of shifting through melancholy sometimes. Like it's a little slow and then it picks up, and then just building. Lots of work though into it. I think the shift in passion would shift things, you know, in terms of moving forward as a team and moving forward, feeling like you're making progress and going towards something again. So yeah, I'm gonna close the reading off there. Hopefully it was helpful. Don't forget to check out Emily's portion of the reading, the hidden aspects of the relationship. I hope this reading was helpful, and I hope to see you again soon. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff, and thank you for watching. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose Pisces, this is going to be your reading. What is the higher purpose of this relationship? And with Pisces, and you got a second card, which is the 12th house. Lots of spirituality, lots of wisdom, lots of dreamlike. This is about dreaming big, I feel, in this relationship, but also connecting with the higher realms. So there's kind of straight away like a lot of expansion, a lot of dreamy energy, a lot of dreamlike energy, dreaming big. And the tarot that we have here kind of goes along with that. We have the Six of Wands, which is celebration with Leo, but we also have two beings in this card as well. We have the Magician, which is, for me, it's like grounding that Pisces energy into reality, having all the parts together to manifest your desires in terms of the ideal relationship, really. And I think you'll be happy to find out that you got the Lovers card as well. So this could be potentially a divine partnership, or just something that shows the potential of true love, what that's like, and connecting at a heart level, which was nice having Pisces there. We even see the hearts here light up. I don't know if you could see the triangle there. And then the Knight of Wands. So there's a lot of passion here. The Knight of Wands moving forward as well, looking. There's another. There's two knights there, which is interesting. So I'm just noticing, I guess, in this deck how many double figures there are, but I didn't know that before. But here it feels as though, having a deep understanding of the occult knowledge, I think that's actually part of the higher purpose here, is both of you understanding that power that you wield as individuals and as a unit, and the ability to manifest reality for each other. Like together, it just feels like that power is amplified, and we get that with the pyramid actually in the 12th house, that power that comes through, the ability to channel and focus those energies. You or your partner might be headstrong because you want the best. Like, I don't know how else to say it, like you both feel you deserve the best and you want it to happen in this lifetime. There's kind of like, that's what the Knight of Wands feels like, and what the Magician feels like. And the Six of Wands kind of shows me that you're both going to be celebrating, if not already. Let's clarify this row. 10 of Wands. King of Cups with the Magician. The 3 of Cups. And the King of Swords. Okay. So one of you, I think, is the King of Cups with the Magician. The other one would be King of Swords with the Knight of Wands. I feel as though the Magician would probably be you here. 3 of Cups is interesting with the Lovers. So this could have to do with sharing that love with other people. In terms of, like, once you have your heart open, you tap into the energy of love in itself, and then you get to share it with other people, and kind of identifying long-lasting connections just in general. So this might kind of be hinting at friendships that blossom into something new, and it kind of hints at the importance of emotional connection. That's something that you learned through this relationship, or both of you learned through this relationship, the importance of connecting at a higher level. This is more than just uniting for the purpose of making something, which might have been maybe the initial intention of the relationship. We have this 10 of Wands underneath the 6 of Wands. I don't really know what's happening in this 10 of Wands. I'm going to clarify it, because I think it's happened a few times where I just look at it and I'm like, I mean, I know what the 10 of Wands is, but I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. So I'm just going to get another card for that. Sorry about that. I don't know if that's a ritual or a dance. I don't know what that is. I just think it's funny. Okay, these two cards will clarify. We have the Devil and the 10 of Cups. and maybe at times you feel bound to this person. Like that's what the Ten of Wands feels like. Putting a lot of work into this relationship, and I think that's why the Six of Wands is coming through as success. Like, okay, finally we made this work, because sometimes you're just difficult. This Ten of Cups has the two figures together again. The devil isn't always, bad, or even addictions. It could be kind of like enjoying the finer things in life. Like, yeah, I mean, it's only bad when it's an addiction and it's the sole purpose of the relationship. But I do feel like you and this person can enjoy those things without it being too toxic, I guess, without it being draining and the sole purpose again of the relationship. And I also kind of feel as though part of the reason why it's underneath the Six of Wands and the Ten of Cups is you could both celebrate that dark side of yourselves and that shadow side of the other person. We do have the shadow on this side of the moon. So it's kind of like you've allowed yourselves to reveal that to your partner or to this person. It could be a friend, of course, and they accept that part of you, and that's liberating. I think that's why the Six of Wands is there again. And that's why the King of Cups is there too, is that compassion and understanding for all aspects of self and all aspects of the other person. Then we have the Three of Cups. I'm interested in this one. Let's clarify the Three of Cups. Just noticing this. I mean, this does feel like a spiritual union. One that allows both of you to channel wisdom. I think that's like, if you did spirituality with this other person, you'd be great at it. But otherwise, it's like you both have the potential to at least, like, let's just say, for example, go into trance together, or like practice mediumship together, or do something like that. But if not, it would be in a creative project. I think that's why the Three of Cups is here too. Is even if there are more people involved, it would be for creating something that feels like it's channeled, because you're at such a high frequency together that you're able to download information and dream big. I can't help but keep thinking of like the mushrooms and the, what do you call it, the rainbow bridge, and bringing that. There's a lot of that energy here of channeling, of bringing something down into reality with both of you. I think that's the higher purpose, would be connecting to the higher realms and connecting to each other at a higher level than, let's clarify the Three of Cups. It's to bring something into this reality that's not from here. It's like you're both mysterious. I think the King of Swords wants to understand it at a conceptual level, like intellectually. Okay, why is this so special, Even if it is a friendship or family members, like, what is it about you that I can't understand it? Okay, so with the Three of Cups, it kind of feels like it's confirmed that it has the potential to be something that brings money, or at least it can if you wanted it to. So there's a collaboration, and really it comes from higher realms. We have the Eight of Cups. it just feels like going for it. I keep thinking going for it, go for it. Okay, let's get another round of tarot. What is the higher purpose of this relationship? Six of Wands. Again, right underneath the Six of Wands, so that's a big one. And it could be just, it feels like worth celebrating, but it also could be something that allows you to feel more comfortable with who you are, all aspects of who you are. And again, it's something that you can give to others and they give back to you. It's being comfortable with all sides, and it has to do with understanding human nature as well, you know, that we all have those sides to each of us. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, 10 of Wands showing up again, and the Eight of Cups showing up again. So lots of multiple cards here. I'm kind of interested in why. Let's look at this 10 of Wands, because this 10 of Wands, she's struggling a little bit with carrying everything. I think that's part of it. I think maybe at times you feel like you're doing most of the heavy lifting, and that's why this Devil card was showing the 10 of Wands earlier with the 10 of Cups, is that you really want this to happen, and you're willing to pull more of the weight, and that it's just being shown that you shouldn't have to do that all on your own, especially when this person at least could possibly have some significant 12th house placements, or Pisces, like they have the potential to connect to spirit on their own, and you don't have to do it for them, on behalf of them. That's something that your partner in this relationship should be able to do, and that's part of their higher purpose in the relationship as well. Yeah, with the Seven of Pentacles, I keep looking at like stars, that you're bringing down stars here, grounding that into reality with the Magician. So but with this Eight of Cups is interesting, and the Knight of Wands, the imagery is kind of hard to see, I'm not gonna lie. Walking away from, and I think that's probably how you ended up together, is walking away from people and situations that didn't serve either of you, maybe as a unit, moving away from fake friends and moving away from people who challenged who you were, and maybe try to tell you what you should be, where you should be in life, kind of like, if you wanted a child, that's great, but if you're around people who are trying to push you and be like, hey, you're at that age where you should have a child at this point, and that feels forced, that sort of thing, or like, you should be married by now, or something like that, and you're just, both of you might have felt at some point burdened by that. And the same thing, of course, could go like family or friends or something. It's like, this is the real type of relationship you should have at this point. We have the Nine of Swords underneath the Six of Wands. Yeah, so it's interesting how such a positive card had the Devil in it, had like, sometimes one or more of you would get fixated on trying to obtain a certain status as a team, and that could hold you back potentially. I feel like the Nine of Swords might have to do more with your partner, the other person, whoever thinks having to get to the Six of Wands, but you both share that same dream and vision of where to go. With the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Sun, so this is what you're building towards. Shining bright. There's a really strong desire to shine. And that's part of your purpose, is that shining doesn't have to be so take so much effort, because we got the 10 of Wands twice, so there's like, well, I have to work really hard to do that, and it should come quite naturally. It's more of an allowing of shining, an allowing of being that causes that, as opposed to forcing it, because the sun doesn't have to try to do what it's doing. Then you have the 6 of Pentacles underneath the 10 of Wands. That just goes to show the balancing act that was required in this relationship, in making that dream into reality. Don't carry too much of this weight. It's coming through multiple times and in different ways. That sometimes one of you, in one way or another, it doesn't necessarily have to be you or the other person, but one of you feels like, oh, I need to carry all of the weight in this area, and then the other person's like, well, then I'll carry all of the weight in the other area. Regardless, it's just too much weight focused on one thing, when you could balance both of those out within each other. I hope that makes sense. Let's get this 8 of Cups. What's that about? What's that about? Okay, so I really like Ophanim. They're my favorite, and I really like this. I'm just staring at it. I really like this Wheel of Fortune. We have the Chariot underneath the deck. It's interesting, by walking away from people and circumstances that don't align with both of you as a unit, you move out of that and you have good luck. You have the ability to unlock new possibilities, and that's kind of that leap of faith energy that comes through. It's like you have success almost written as individuals and as a unit, and it just, you know, with the Sun, with the Wheel of Fortune, but as long as you stay in the middle of that, because otherwise, if you're on the outside of this, you'd be spinning all over the place. That's a lot of eyes to get lost in, you know. And I think part of it is because it's kind of the idea of being successful is hinted at here somewhere. It's kind of like in the background, like an undercurrent of the relationship is like, we have to be successful. We have to be better than those guys over there. We're a better team. Like it's just hinted at. I don't even know if it's, but it's influencing the relationship, and it's kind of pushing you. But what could happen is that it just could come across as exhausting sometimes. So I'd say it's like high purpose would have to do with allowing the dream to become a reality, making the effort towards it, but not overexerting. It would have to do with balancing out each other's strengths and weaknesses, and being able to look honestly like at the devil, like straight in the eye, and just still see a human being there, still see love in that, within yourself and within the other person. And sometimes it's easier to do that, to see that shadow in someone else and accept it, and then not tolerate within yourself. And I think this person kind of allows you to accept that part of who you are, because we have the eye, the third eye is kind of there with the 10 of Wands. It's sticking out at me a little bit, so I just thought I would mention it again. And then I have an extra oracle card. I'm going to clarify that with a tarot as well, but this one is Goddess Durga with Hematite, Spear of the Guru Mother. This is about focus, like really having an intention and going for it. So I think that's the overall theme of this reading, is going for it. Not tolerating failure, but at the same time, it shouldn't come at the expense of your own well-being, as an individual or as a partnership. Because you've both gone through, I'd say, like some more difficult times too, but you've also had a lot of really bright moments as well, and this is kind of what you're destined to do, is be a guiding force for like manifesting the highest potential. This is a very spiritual team. Let's just clarify this spear of the Guru Mother real quick. Two of Wands. I'll just show it to you. With Mars and Aries, it's about going for it, right? Like choosing one. I don't think that's an issue here. It's more of it just feels like there's more momentum when two people do it, right? When two people have a plan and an idea of where they want to be at, and you might not know how to get there, but you know where you want to go, and you have kind of that spiritual wisdom, again with the King of Cups, the 12th house, and Pisces, and you know the Wheel of Fortune's there, you know the sun is within you, so if you like, there's a lot of go-getting energy, just as long as it's not at the expense of your own, again, well-being, your energy, that you don't overexert it and you don't let the mind come into play. So there's all those things. So this is a powerful team, powerful relationship, I have to say. But hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Please like, subscribe, share, and let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to watch Emily's portion of the reading where she looks at the hidden aspects of the relationships. But otherwise, I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose Leo, this is going to be your reading. And this energy is really part of the higher purpose. Stepping into Leo energy, with the sun being vibrant, shining. I have a few other oracle cards, but I'll get into those at the end of the reading. But for now, I have a few tarot as well, and we're going to see what the higher purpose is of this relationship. So the first card we have is the Four of Wands, followed by the Ace of Cups, 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Swords in reverse. It kind of fell out, so I'll just read it that way. But we have Aries and Venus, Ace of Cups, not being afraid to allow your heart to shine, opening yourselves up emotionally. I think that might have been something that was hard initially, or at least in other relationships, in other forms with other people. It could have even felt burdensome, like, oh Lord, I have to give my heart up. How is this going to backlash in some way? And I think part of this is moving away from and maybe it might have been a problem of like allowing the heart to express itself fully and to completely open up. With Leo, I think of the Strength card too, and how much strength it would take to allow yourself to fully give that to another person, to fully open up in that way, especially in terms of love. And this could be in friendship as well, like not necessarily just romantic, but feeling that it's safe to do this without it kind of coming back and biting you in the behind, you know. Let's clarify these cards. Well, you have the Eight of Wands, I think in reverse. I'm just gonna leave that there. Seven of Wands in reverse. There's a lot of Wands in reverse. Eight of Wands, Seven of Wands in reverse. Not feeling like you have to defend yourself. We have the Judgment underneath the Ten of Swords. That's probably the biggest thing. Let's clarify this Judgment. But with the Hermit, wow. Kind of being honest with yourself as to why, like if it's a pattern with other people where felt almost like an urge to walk away, to block yourself, to cover your heart center. And I think this relationship, the higher purpose, is bringing light to that part, and kind of acknowledging that that's something that's still dormant within you potentially. Yeah, because there's like it's almost more comforting to be alone for you. Like you'd rather be alone. That's where you feel safest and where you could shine the most. And I think there's a potential for real connections, for a loving relationship, for an opportunity to open your heart center. And it's difficult sometimes because you just remember past pain, or maybe even like a karmic cycle, something, or childhood trauma when it comes to sharing what's in your heart, because people couldn't understand it. And I think that's something that you've been looking for, is understanding. Okay, let's get some more cards. But it's bringing light to that. It's giving you an opportunity to see where you could like communicate more of that tension in your heart center, and allowing yourself to be more open and trusting that the people who come into your life are doing so for good reason. We have the Ten of Wands. Sorry, I made that look because it's come through, I think, in every pile. There's always one of those, right? You have the Chariot with the Ace of Cups. Yeah, it feels like love is burdensome, and you kind of prevent it in a way. With the Chariot and the Ace of Cups, is kind of what helps you move forward, is stepping into that feeling of love and being loving and accepting it. I think in this case, like animals would help, like just tapping into that feeling and then kind of remembering it and recognizing it when you connect with other people, because it does happen sometimes. We have the Page of Wands with the Ten of Wands here. It's almost as if, and then Page of Swords, lots of young energy. This might be a newer relationship, or it might feel fresh, or could be a friendship too. With the Ten of Swords reverse and the Page of Swords, it's like I must get someone who's willing to keep fighting, and despite having had some difficult endings, just ready for the next battle. It's like someone who's resurrecting constantly, and that's part of the judgment, is learning from that. And with the Page of Swords, sometimes they could be maybe a little stubborn, but there's the enthusiasm and desire to learn from it. And I think maybe you're the Page of Swords here. That, well, there's the Swords energy and the Wands is exhausted from defending themselves, from just, yeah, we have Ten of Wands twice already. And let's just show you these cards next to each other, because look at all the wands that the Page of Wands has. This card here, I think both of you are like, let's just keep trying, let's just keep trying. This could be as a unit, or this could be separately, you know. It could be either way. It just depends on the nature of the relationship. But you're both tired in different ways. I think the Judgment is showing like what's making you tired. It's having a guard up. It's anticipating hurt. Let's see what the 8 of those 10 of Wands is about. Anticipating something going wrong and like protecting that Ace of Cups. We have the 10 of Swords. I think the 10 of Swords came up earlier. Let's check. Yep. So two 10 of Swords, 2 10 of Wands. You know, and I was joking to myself earlier. There's always this moment where I'm doing a reading and I'm like, you know, it feels like the purpose of this relationship is pain and suffering. At least, I mean, not like this one, maybe a little bit, but if I've definitely felt that way, which is why I keep running away from some of Helen's readings when she mentions love and relationship. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch this, but I have the Serpent, so it's definitely something that connects to me. There's that, I could understand that in this pile too, that it's just like, oh, I don't want to hear about love or relationships. I'm completely sick and tired of it because it's been exhausting and it's been a really long journey. But it's interesting that the Judgment card is here because there's something in that whole experience for you. Right, with the 10 of Swords, it just, yeah, it's an exhausting energy. 10 of Wands clarified by the 10 of Swords. And this was underneath the 4 of Wands. So I'm going to dive even deeper with this pile because that's probably why I moved a little faster, because there's more to this. Okay, let's continue though. That's why the Hermit's there as well. The Chariot is standing out because it's kind of a really fast moving card. We have the World underneath the Chariot. So, I'm gonna hold on to that, but remind me in like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute to go back to that. We have the 8 of Pentacles with the Page of Swords. Like the Page of Swords, this person wants to keep working at it. There's 10 of Wands as well, and they're gonna keep working at it and keep working at it. There's a little hint, not to say, I'm not gonna suggest leaving this person or anything like that, but there's a little hint of it in here. And I'll just say that because we have the Ace of Cups, the Chariot underneath the Ace of Cups. So it's kind of like you want to move towards that thing that's opening your heart center. We have the 8 of Cups, which is moving away from potentially something that isn't working anymore, and then the World, which is, you have a lot of other opportunities here. The Chariot, though, in the same way, could be both the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. So there's a lot of, young energy. Just both of these beings are, it's so interesting that there's the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords for the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands, you know? That they're just going at it. I think a king of Wands or a Queen of Swords or Queen would kind of know how to navigate through this situation a little bit better. They would have more of an understanding of what is working and what isn't working. And I think that's part of the purpose of this relationship, is knowing where there's momentum and where there's stagnancy. And with the 8 of Pentacles underneath the Page of Wands, it just kind of reminds me of that. It's like, I'll just show these cards to you. You're both defending your hearts, or at least one of you is, and I think the key to moving forward, if you choose to, with this relationship, partnership, friendship, is tapping into the heart center, even though you don't want to expose it. But that's where the Chariot is. That's where the world is connecting to that emotion. We'll notice like there isn't a King of Cups. This is Leo energy, lots of fire. But just going back to the Page of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles here. Just look at all the wands down here, like getting up and trying again, and then building and building, and it feels I'm just exhausted because of how many swords and how many wands there are. Oh. Let's clarify this Judgment card. Or Eight of Wands for the Page of Swords. This Eight of Wands is trying to shoot at the moon. That's interesting. There's like a communication to your subconscious self, and maybe that's why the Hermit's there. In isolation, maybe a break. This is more of a self-study, and I think that's where you'll get more insight as to ease and grace and love. I have two oracle cards here. The first one is from Angel Isda and Carnelian with Nourishment, and then I have Angel Ao with Io with Labradorite and Individuality. With 10 and 5. So let's clarify these cards. Maybe get some more information on them. But Nourishment kind of feels, it has a lot to do with the 10 of Wands, the repeated 10 of Wands, and, that overexhaustion and feeling not insecure, but like you have to work really hard to stay in a safe place. Whereas Labradorite has to do with inner magic, really, and stepping into that inner magic. I think that would be helpful with the Hermit. Okay. Let's clarify these cards, please. Oh. Queen of Swords. Look at that. And the Hierophant. Oh. I'll get one more for each. Six of Wands. Nope. Just one, please. But we're noticing a shift already, right? With the Nourishment card and the Two of Pentacles. The Hierophant. I'll just show you. So we have Nourishment. This is prioritizing yourself and not overextending for someone else, because we notice that shift from the Swords energy from the Page straight to the Queen, and the Six of Wands, which is celebrating the Six of Wands, being a card of Leo, is stepping back into power, and that power comes from you, all that energy put into guarding yourself, putting it into fear. And this kind of feels like you. I'm already on it. So this could be, of course, because this is a relationship reading, this could be your partner, but this has to do with really trusting yourself and trusting the placement of effort, because it's kind of like you're being guided to being effortless, but there's just resistance, and it's coming. I think this relationship is kind of highlighting that resistance that you might be feeling. And then with the other side, we have individuality. We have the Hierophant and the Two of Pentacles. Okay. So again, balancing priorities kind of shows up here. Then we have Taurus with the Hierophant. They kind of have the same. I wonder if they copied and pasted this, because it kind of looks similar. If you could see their bodies. So one of these, maybe your partner has to kind of like look at themselves, give a hard look at themselves, and again, maybe it's like a little bit of what is the term? Not mirroring, projecting. There might be some projecting going on. Let's get another card for each of these. It's like when you prioritize yourself as individuals more and your own needs, I think you as a relationship could move forward, or as a friendship could move forward. But I think right now there's too much emphasis on, and that's really the higher purpose. It feels like, especially for strong empaths, like carrying on other people's energy and accepting it as their own. And that might be something that you're doing or your partner's doing, or that's just something that's happening, is not just stepping out of your comfort zone, but out of your element, because you feel that you have to, in order to achieve certain things that aren't necessarily aligned with who you are, and that might dim both of your lights, potentially. You have the Three of Swords with the Hierophant, or Three of Wands with the Hierophant. Oh, it's not focusing. There we go. But there's patience here. And then the Knight of Wands on the other side has the other person there as well. So it's kind of like the more you work on yourselves as individuals, the more you'll understand kind of the blockages that are preventing both of you from moving forward, and releasing those blockages within yourselves, because ultimately I think it's heart-centered for both of you. So hopefully this reading was helpful. Please let me know how it resonates, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and watch Emily's portion of the reading where she'll be looking at the hidden aspects of the relationship. So I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.